Hello everybody, I am Jedi Jack Penguin and welcome to another LEGO Harry Potter review. Today I am beyond excited to be looking at one of my few white whale sets, that being set number 4756, Shrieking Shack. This set includes 444 pieces and originally retailed for $49.99 back in the year 2004. Getting right into the box art for this set, you have your classic 2004 look for LEGO right here, where you have that blue side art with your LEGO logo and your Harry Potter logo at the top with that little hint of blue for Prisoner of Azkaban. You get your Year 3 Harry at the bottom, regular stuff off the side, and main picture of the set front and center with a background of Hogsmeade right there. Additionally, you get some play features down to the side, your characters interacting with the build. This box isn't particularly in the greatest shape, but spinning us to the back, you can take a look at the interior slightly, which will go more in detail when we look at the actual set. At the top, you have your layout of some of the other sets outlined in the background from 2004. And you also get your regular advertisements for the LEGO and Harry Potter websites. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to say for this box. We did have push tabs on this. That's another thing that I did want to note, that we didn't have tape on this box. Back in the day, we had push tabs in order to open it up. Moving right along to the instructions, we pretty much mimic the front of the box. Again, a little ruffled here with the instructions. Some of the pages are falling out. From the back, we get one of our classic advertisements for the time period with Harry, Ron, and Hermione overlooking the layout of the sets in this more white opaque look, just showcasing everything that we could have gotten at this time. Right inside, we get your win information, as well as some alternate builds, which is something that LEGO used to do. I would like to see them return to that, but I don't think that'll ever happen. We have a 2-page spread of all of the sets from this 2004 wave here. The only other one that I have reviews for is this one at the top, the Marauders map, as well as the 2004 Night Bus. I would love to get all of these sets eventually, so look forward to reviews once I eventually get them, because I just would love to get this entire wave. It just feels so nostalgic. Even though I didn't grow up with it, it's just really nice. I love Prisoner of Azkaban. It's one of my favorite movies, so no doubt I'm gonna have to get all of these eventually. From the following pages, we have another alternate build, as well as some play features for this set that we'll get right into momentarily. We have a bunch of different pages showcasing the play features for this set, leading all the way to the final overall model. Now, before I move on to our minifigure selection, I did want to point out that this set did include an extra page of instructions, because I guess during the production of this set, they did fix one of the building techniques here, which we'll talk more about when we actually get into the Shrieking Shack. You can see that we switched out this piece to this Technic piece on page 19. Looking at our very first minifigure, we have Harry Potter, the Boy Who Lived. Now, this version of Harry is technically exclusive due to the arrangement of parts. We get those legs in that plain dark tan, and then we have the dark gray, the new dark gray for the time period for the torso piece, which I did want to point out that it looks like the neck area is in a yellow color. I don't know if this is a misprint or something, because originally these characters, just like the characters that we saw between 2001 through 2003, were supposed to be in that yellow color, but then they changed it to this flesh tone color that we're going to start seeing a lot more in licensed themes moving on to the future. Now we get the light flesh for the hands and the light flesh for the head. No double-sided printing for the torso or the head there. You just get the regular facial expression that we saw back in 2001, just printed on that light flesh head, which is really interesting to see, and that's how they do it a lot in the LEGO video games. If there is a yellow flesh tone character, they just print it on that flesh tone head, and then we get the regular Harry Potter hairpiece for the time period. Moving right along to the Marauders, we have Sirius Black, who I cannot believe I finally have in my collection, this 2004 version of Sirius Black. He also comes within one other set, the Sirius Black's escape from the time period, which is technically Flitwick's office tower. We get those plain dark gray legs, and then we get the dark gray torso with that like prison jumpsuit. Would have liked to see some more tattoo action for like the flesh tone area, and also I did want to point out that the flesh tone printed on these characters works very, very well compared to how they do it nowadays. So whatever they were doing back then, LEGO, I would like to see you do it again. No back printing on the torso, and no double-sided facial expression, but I'll remove the hairpiece to take a better look at that face regardless, which I think is fine for the time period, right there with a little bit of stubble and that very nice mustache going on for Sirius, and then we reuse the Snape hairpiece for the time period as well. For our next Marauder, we have Professor Remus Lupin, who I am excited again to get this particular version from back in 2004, who is exclusive to this set. We get this full dark green suit, light flesh hands for the flesh tone. You can see that we get this light gray cape, which I believe is another exclusive part, only coming within like one or two other sets. Additionally, the hair is exclusive in that color for the very first time in that more orangey color. You can take a look at the facial expression a little bit better. We only get the printing from the front of the torso, so I won't bother flipping the cape over. Additionally, when it comes to Professor Lupin, we get this werewolf head, which is amazing that they actually made this. That particular piece was introduced in the LEGO Studios line, but this is the very first time that we saw it in the new dark gray color, and probably the only time. Taking a quick spin around, you can note that there is no printing on the wolf head, which is a little disappointing, but you know, that's what you get for the time period. And lastly, we have the least accurate figure included within this set. We have Peter Pettigrew, or Wormtail. For the very first time in LEGO form, we have this full light gray outfit. We have the print for the front of the torso, which we will see get reused in the 2005 Graveyard Duel set, only the printing from the front of that. And we get two light flesh hands right there, as opposed to one of them being in a black or dark gray or something, as we see in that Graveyard Duel set. The facial expression is exclusive to this version, where we get the printing on the very top of the head, which we don't really see this very often from LEGO anymore, where they print at the very top of the head all around right there for his hair, because he's technically like a bald character. This is technically a book description of Wormtail, which again, I sort of like that LEGO tried to mimic that style. You can see the little mustache on him. I think he turned out really great if they were going for a book version, but compared to the one that we see in the movies, this one just doesn't really do it for me. Now that we looked at all of our minifigures, it's time to transform them into their animal counterparts using this Animagi transformation chamber, which is this big modified piece that was new and exclusive to the set. Technically a kind of addition, like a shack to add on to the Shrieking Shack. You can see that we have some of these windows, these fake windows, blocked off from the side, and this like wood paneling. I really like the texture to this. It's something that LEGO didn't really need to do, but I love that they did it. From the very top, you see that we get the LEGO logo on this. You push this down, it makes a loud noise, and we'll talk about that momentarily. But first, looking at the roof, you have a little bit of snow just because we're in Hogsmeade, and we also get this black owl piece. Now, looking underneath the piece, you can see that we have a spot to plop in your minifigure, so we can plop in Sirius Black. Well, actually, we're not going to plop him in first. We're going to plop in this character, which we'll look at in a minute, and we're going to press down to make that character disappear, and we're going to put Sirius inside. So putting Sirius inside and then pressing the button, that will transform him into the Grim Dog, which is this dark gray dog piece, which we also saw in a few other sets around this time period, and it was the very first time that we saw the dog piece in this dark gray color. So here is Sirius as the Grim, and then in order to transform him back into Sirius, you just plop him back inside, and then it spits Sirius right back out. Additionally, this feature works with Wormtail. You can plop him right inside, press the button, and that will plop out this standing up rat position of him, which I believe was also exclusive around this time in the newer light gray color. You can take a look at that, no printing or anything. Really cool piece to get. Now, the only character that this transformation chamber doesn't really work with is Professor Lupin, who you can just toss the wolf head right on top of his character. You don't get a duplicate of his minifigure unless you collected any of the other sets that included him during the time period. To go along with our main build of the Shrieking Shack, we get another location from Hogsmeade, that being Honeydukes. Now, this one is rather small and not as exciting as the one that we just got this year in 2021, but regardless, you can fold it open so then you can take a better look at the interior as well as an expanded exterior. Now, before we get into looking at that in full detail, I did want to plop the Honeydukes that we just got as of this year right next to this to show how far LEGO has come since 2004 in terms of building techniques, and especially details in terms of like a lot of sticker details. I definitely like that we get some printed windows here compared to these stickered windows. That's one thing that I do have to note. And then we do have a few things that are missing in terms of both of these sets' interiors. For instance, we have the passageway to get to Hogwarts right here, the passage from Honeydukes to Hogwarts. That is something that I think is really missing from the one that we got this year in 2021. Though other than that, the 2021 version really has everything you could ask for. We have Acid Pops as a brand new print, we have logos galore, and we even have this thing which kind of blew my mind that they included this within this set as 2 additional stickers. Taking a closer look at Honeydukes, we have this full orangish brown look for the exterior, a little bit of white from the top and the bottom for some snow. From the very front, we have the entrance, which is missing a door. I would have liked to see them include a door because this wide open gap makes it really easy for Sirius Black to get into the passage to get to Hogwarts. Just saying. We have some lights also from the front. From this side, we have these 2 printed window elements, which we previously saw within the 2003 Quality Quidditch Supplies set. We have these paddle pieces to act as lollipops. We have the print from the front, stud from the other side. Moving to the interior of the build, we have quite a bit going on over here. From this side, we have a little bit of a healthy section of Hogsmeade, which I don't really mind. We have these 2 apples, one in red and one in green. We have 2 of these jars that I would think would include some candy over there. We have a print over here for the cash register, which I'm pretty sure is not exclusive to this set. One print that is exclusive, however, is this 1x2 tile print for the candy bar, which also came in a few other sets around this time, particularly with Professor Lupin. Now, when it comes to this side, we have a few more candy jars right there using the cone piece instead of the regular 1x1 brick. We also have 2 of these ice lollies, one in the translucent pink and one in brown right there for a chocolate one. And then we have one of these plant holders with some cherries, and if you think that's all of the play features included within the set, you're wrong. We have this little trapdoor that allows you to escape to Hogwarts, or vice versa if you have the Marauders Map statue set, which I did actually recently review as of this year. That goes along with this, where you have that passageway that leads to Honeydukes, or you can use this passageway to get into Hogwarts. So I think that's really great that they included this reference. It's the big thing that I think is really missing from the 2021 version, if anything. And lastly, you have these 2 hinge bricks right there, which I mentioned earlier, that allows you to open and close the full build of Honeydukes. To complete this set, we have the Shrieking Shack for the very first time in LEGO form. Now, this is a location that definitely needs an upgrade in the future of LEGO Harry Potter. There are a lot of questionable decisions when it comes to this set. In particular, one that I want to show right off the bat is the ability to spin this house in a 360 direction without having to turn the bottom of the house. I don't know why that's included. Maybe it's to add to the spookiness of the location, just like how we have this skull from the very side of the location. I don't know how accurate that is, but looking from the bottom and working our way up the exterior, we have some stairs represented by some simple bricks. We also have some open areas down here, one of which featuring this translucent red spider, and then these two featuring nothing. Leading up, we have our front door, which also has a printed piece, which is, I believe, exclusive to this set, this 1x6 tile for a wood plank. We see it 3 times from the front of the location, and once from the very side. Additionally, we have a lot of white to represent the snow, in addition to the brown and the little bit of light gray, dark gray, black to create the location. We have some windows. We have 3 from the front and 2 from the side, a lot of these being blocked off again by these wooden planks. If you remove them, you can actually open the door, which is actually a little squeaky. I guess that's because I bought a used copy. Adds to the creepiness, I suppose. And as for the windows, you can also open those up if you would like, or close them up. From the other side of the build, you can see we have the chimney area using a lot more of the light gray, dark gray, black from this side. We also have a hinge brick connection that you can open up to take a better look inside, I suppose. Or you can pretend to have a character coming out of the flue powder from that side. I guess that's another option that you can use that for when entering the interior of the build. Moving us up to look at the roof, we have a giant white plate, a lot of snow from the very top of the location because we're in Hogsmeade. And we have a pretty simple build overall, and also Technic connection for that. So you can also remove that by bringing it up and down to take a better look inside the build if you would like. And the last thing that I did want to mention when it comes to the side of this build is the fact that we have this hanging skeleton head for decoration. If you remember early on, we looked at the instructions and we had a replacement page for page 19 where we had a brand new building technique. So fixing this up, we're just going to remove this end piece instead of using this zap gun that you would typically see for the Jawas. We're going to use this piece right here. We're going to plop our skeleton head on it. Now, some of you may be wondering why they replaced that piece. Now, my thoughts behind it is that this piece didn't really push in enough to that axle, so they replaced it with this because it would actually go in a lot further and actually not fall off as easily when pulling it back, because this is technically like a pullback feature in order to make the bed from the interior fall down. So personally, I think that that was a good move on LEGO's part, changing it. It's likely a flaw that they didn't catch in the first run of this set. Looking at the interior for the Shrieking Shack, there really isn't anything to shout about here. It's something that definitely needs an upgrade though. We have a table right here which has 2 printed pieces, one being this 1x1 with the flying book, and then the other one being this 1x2 with the star pattern in that translucent blue. We also have that piece draping off the side, which allows you to actually lift up the center of the table to reveal a hidden feature of this green frog. I don't know why we have a green frog in there, but I guess it's nice as an extra hidden detail. We have our chimney from the side, which you can actually open using a hinge brick connection in order to place a minifigure coming out from flue powder or whatever. We have some translucent orange studs to represent the flames in there. When it comes to the chimney area up here, which is another really cool thing to note, that we get the chimney from both the top and the bottom, we have a very nice flame piece right there. Additionally, we have a small bed, which is, again, nothing really too crazy to talk about. We have this sand blue color, which I really like, but other than that, the only thing that you can really do with the bed is pull out this side function that we just replaced over there and make the bed fall back and maybe your minifigure fall down to the first floor. I mean, I guess that's an interesting play feature, but it isn't anything like too accurate to the source material. We also have this small little bedside area that features a goblet as well as a potion, which I am led to believe that this is supposed to be the Wolfsbane potion, which is what Lupin is supposed to take to transform into a werewolf and be completely calm, which I really like that they included that as a reference if that is really what they're trying to reference here. But in all reality, I don't think that was what LEGO was going for, but considering that they were mainly looking at the books when it comes to the source material behind these sets, I think that that has to be what they were going for. But then again, you never really know. So overall, for $50 back in the day, this set featured a lot of great value in terms of the minifigures. You get Harry Potter, in addition to 3 of the Marauders, Sirius Black, Remus Lupin, and Peter Pettigrew. I think it's really nice that we got all 3 of them within the Shrieking Shack set, in addition to also getting Honeydukes, which was our first representation from Hogsmeade. I definitely think that the 2021 version of Honeydukes is 1,000 times better. It really shows how far LEGO has come. What LEGO needs to do now is make a brand new version of the Shrieking Shack. That is really something that I expect to see them do as early as summer 2022. If anything, that is the time to make it, considering we just got the Hogsmeade sets this year in 2021, and next year we're going to see a lot more sets based off Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire. And now the other question I have to ask myself is, was this set worth $100 buying it used? I mean, I guess it was. This is a set that I've always really wanted from LEGO, and 2004 is really a period that I would love to collect all of the LEGO Harry Potter sets from, especially considering my favorite Harry Potter movie and book is The Prisoner of Azkaban. A lot of these minifigures are ones that I've really always wanted in my collection, and I just can't believe how much my collection has grown over the past few months, especially considering some of the 2001-2002 era sets that I've been getting. I know this is kind of off topic, but it needs to be said, LEGO is doing an amazing job with LEGO Harry Potter, and I think that they can only go up in the future, especially if they make a brand new version of the Shrieking Shack, because this one certainly needs an upgrade. For the time period, it was great, this set, but now there just needs to be a new one. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to say for this video. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below, what your thoughts are on this set. Also remember to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon so you know every time I upload a new video. So yeah, that's it for now, and I will see you next time. Bye!